In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 MLB games happening on May 22nd, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Texas Rangers versus New York Yankees. On Thursday, the New York Yankees will welcome the Texas Rangers to Yankee Stadium for the final game of their series. This rivalry between American League foes has remained tightly contested over the years, but in more recent matchups, the Yankees have clearly had the upper hand. Since the midpoint of the 2023 season, New York has posted a strong 7-3 record in their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Texas. Even more impressively, they've gone 6-1 against the Rangers at home during that same stretch. After winning the first 2 games of this series and riding a noticeable wave of momentum lately, the Yankees are in a prime spot to close this thing out with a sweep. With Carlos Rodon set to take the mound, expect the home team to finish strong. As our first pick for this matchup, the New York Yankees money line is our full game side pick. Texas will send former Yankee Nathan Eovaldi to the hill, and he's done a solid job against his old squad over the years. Since 2018, Eovaldi has made 19 starts versus New York, compiling a respectable 3.55 earned run average in that span. Since the beginning of 2023, he's allowed just 7 total runs in 4 starts against the Yankees and has only given up more than 3 runs in a game 3 times across those 19 appearances. On the other side, Rodon has a good chance to stay in control against a Rangers lineup that hasn't fared well against left-handed pitching. As of now, Texas ranks 21st in weighted runs created plus, 22nd in weighted on-base average, and sits 26th in strikeout percentage when facing southpaws. In his 2 starts against the Rangers earlier this season, Rodon allowed just 1 earned run and struck out 18 across a total of 11.2 innings. While both teams have offensive reputations and Yankee Stadium often sees its fair share of runs, this series hasn't followed that script so far. Through the first 2 games, the under has hit both times, with just 14 total runs combined between the 2 matchups. For Texas, the under has gone 7-2-1 over their last 10 games overall, during which they've allowed a stingy average of just 2.6 runs per game. New York has also trended under recently, with a 6-4 mark in their last 10, including 8 games where their pitching staff held opponents to 3 or fewer runs. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. San Diego Padres versus Toronto Blue Jays. The Padres head north of the border for Game 3 of their series against the Toronto Blue Jays, with the matchup taking place at Rogers Centre in downtown Toronto, Ontario. San Diego comes into the contest sitting 3rd in the National League West, holding a solid 27-20 record. On the flip side, Toronto is treading water at .500 with a 24-24 record, currently sitting 2nd in the American League East. These 2 clubs met earlier this season, with the Blue Jays taking 2 out of 3 games from the Padres. San Diego has been pretty reliable away from home lately, winning 6 of their last 10 road matchups. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays have hit a bit of a snag, dropping 4 of their last 7 games overall. The Padres have a slight upper hand in this one, largely because they've been effective at the plate when facing right-handed pitchers. That's especially relevant here because Toronto is sending Francis to the mound, who's had a rough stretch recently. In his last 3 outings, he's given up 11 runs, and he's been even worse at home, allowing a whopping 15 runs across his last 3 appearances at Rogers Centre. That doesn't bode well when you're up against a Padres team that's been seeing the ball well. On the other side of things, Toronto isn't likely to make up the difference on offense. They haven't been swinging the bats as consistently as the Padres, and now they're facing Kolek, who's quietly been putting together a solid start to the season. He's allowed just 5 runs across his first 3 starts, and that includes 2 road outings where he didn't give up a single run. Combine that with a Padres bullpen that ranks 6th in the league, and you've got a recipe for Toronto's offense to get stifled. As our first pick for this matchup, the San Diego Padres money line is our full game side pick. Looking at the totals, the Padres have been involved in low-scoring affairs lately, with 4 of their last 5 games going under the number. The Blue Jays have followed a similar pattern, playing under the total in their last 3 straight. San Diego is averaging 4.33 runs per game on the season, but that number has cratered recently. They've managed just 0.67 runs per game over their last 3 contests. They are, however, hitting .264 against right-handed pitching, and they'll be facing a starter who's been lit up at home in his recent starts. Toronto is scoring even less overall, putting up just 3.87 runs per game, and they've managed only 2.33 over their last 3. Their batting average against righties sits at .247, and now they're up against a pitcher who hasn't allowed a single run in 2 road starts. These 2 teams have played tight, low-scoring games against each other too. 5 of their last 6 meetings have stayed under the total. San Diego's over-under record is 1-5 in their last 6 games, and Toronto is 1-3-1 in their last 5. The Padres might be struggling at the plate right now, but their pitching staff has kept things close in most of their recent games. If they can keep that trend going tonight, we're looking at another low-scoring battle, maybe something like what we saw in Game 1 of this series. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Philadelphia Phillies versus Colorado Rockies. On Thursday afternoon, the Philadelphia Phillies are set to wrap up their 4-game road series against the Colorado Rockies at Coors Field in Denver. The Phillies have been on an absolute tear lately, riding a 6-game winning streak into this final matchup. On the other end of the spectrum, the Rockies have been nothing short of a disaster. With only 8 wins on the season and a brutal 5-18 home record, they've cemented themselves as the worst team in baseball. Heading into Wednesday night's game, Colorado had already lost all 5 of their meetings with Philadelphia this year. On the mound, the Phillies are in good hands with Ranger Suarez. He's been sharp recently, surrendering just 3 earned runs across his last 2 starts. Suarez has also fared well historically against Colorado, posting an impressive 2.81 earned run average in 34 career innings versus the Rockies. On the flip side, German Marcus continues to struggle in his starts for Colorado, giving up at least 5 runs in 5 of his last 6 outings. Philadelphia came into this series already having handled the Rockies well earlier in the season, winning 6 out of 8 games in their previous matchups and completing a sweep in one of those series. They also took the first 2 games of this current set at Coors Field. The Phillies' bats have been particularly effective against Colorado pitching, scoring at least 4 runs in each of the last 4 meetings. In their most recent game against the Rockies before this series, Philadelphia hung 11 runs on them. And given that Colorado has been losing nearly 76% of their home games, this feels like another uphill battle for the Rockies. They've also dropped 3 straight overall. Offensively, the Phillies have a clear edge. They rank 6th in MLB in batting average, while the Rockies sit dead last in that category. On the road, Philly is locked in. They've won 7 of their last 8 away from home and just recently swept the Rays in Tampa Bay. As our first pick for this matchup, the Philadelphia Phillies money line is our full game side pick. Looking at the totals angle, the under has quietly been the dominant trend in this matchup. Prior to the current series, the previous 4 meetings between these 2 teams all went under the posted total, with just 17 total runs scored across their 3-game set earlier this year. Phillies pitching kept the Rockies in check during that stretch, limiting them to only 1 run in each of those 3 games. Historically, Philadelphia's offense has not thrived at Coors Field either. Last season, they hit just .240 at the park and failed to score more than 2 runs in 3 of their final 4 games in Denver. Meanwhile, Colorado's offensive struggles are no secret. They sit near the bottom of the league in most categories and rank last in batting average. They've managed 3 runs or fewer in 6 of their past 8 contests, which doesn't exactly inspire confidence. While Marcus has had a rough season, it's worth noting he's managed a solid 3.31 earned run average against Philadelphia, and even tossed 6 scoreless innings the last time he faced them. Taking all this into account, another low-scoring game feels likely on Thursday. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Los Angeles Angels versus Athletics. The MLB action rolls on Thursday with a daytime matchup featuring the Los Angeles Angels taking on the Athletics. Luis Severino has done his job as a veteran presence on the mound for the Athletics this year, but his numbers at home are downright rough. In 6 starts at home, he's posted an 0-4 record with a bloated 6.75 earned run average. Opposite him, Angels starter Tyler Anderson has looked much sharper on the road, going 1-0 with a 3.75 earned run average across 4 starts away from Anaheim. The Angels are rolling, 2, they came into Tuesday night's game riding a 5-game winning streak, while the Athletics are spiraling with 7 straight losses. Offensively, the Halos are clicking, putting up 34 runs across their last 5 games. Combine that with the fact that the Athletics are just 8-15 in home games, and it's not hard to envision the Angels taking advantage of Severino and snagging the win in the final game of the series. Oakland's struggles run even deeper. They've dropped 8 straight games heading into this one. Meanwhile, the Angels have caught fire, winning 6 in a row and pounding the ball all over the park. I'll get into some of their advanced hitting numbers in a bit, but it's safe to say I'm leaning toward the over at what's proven to be a very hitter-friendly stadium. But before we dive into the offenses, let's take a moment to appreciate what Tyler Anderson has been doing this season. The lefty has been rock solid, with a 3.04 earned run average that ranks 28th in the majors and a 1.09 WHIP, good for 24th overall. He's also handled the Athletics lineup effectively in the past, limiting their current hitters to a measly .167, .273, and .292 slash line over 48 at-bats. Anderson has pitched at least 6 innings in 4 of his last 6 appearances, which means he could help limit the damage caused by the Angels' shaky bullpen. Taking all of that into account, there's no way I'm passing up the chance to play the Angels as underdogs in this spot. As our first pick for this matchup, the Los Angeles Angels money line is our full game side pick. If you've been betting overs at Sutter Health Park this season, you've been cashing in. The over has hit in 16 of 24 games there, an impressive 66.7% clip, which is the highest rate for any MLB stadium. The Angels are set to face Severino again, and they've had success against him before. Over 59 at-bats, they've slashed .271, .271, and .407 against him. In just the past week, Los Angeles ranks 6th in WRC+, 7th in WOBA, and 3rd in ISO. Add to that the fact that both teams have bullpens ranked among the bottom 3 in earned run average, and the case for the over starts to look even stronger. As we mentioned earlier, the Angels have put up 34 runs over their last 5 games. They've also gone over the total in 4 of Tyler Anderson's last 5 starts. Meanwhile, Severino has an earned run average pushing 7.00 across 4 home outings this year. Oakland, for their part, has gone over the total in 3 of their last 5 games. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Milwaukee Brewers versus Pittsburgh Pirates. The Milwaukee Brewers enter this stretch of the season with a 24-26 record as they head east to face the Pittsburgh Pirates in a 4-game series at PNC Park. This marks their first National League matchup since early May when they squared off against the Cubs. The Brewers have experienced quite the roller coaster over their last 8 series, dating back to late April, managing to avoid getting swept or getting swept themselves. Their most recent series was positive, winning 2 out of 3 games against the Orioles at home. On the other side, the Pirates are having a season typical of their recent years. Sitting at 17-33 overall, they did manage to close out their series against the Reds with back-to-back wins at PNC Park earlier this week. Mike Burrows is expected to get the start for the Pirates. This will be his first outing of the season. The Brewers have yet to announce their starter. Burrows made his major league debut with Pittsburgh last season, pitching 3 1/3 innings in relief while allowing 2 runs. Since then, he has spent 2025 in AAA Indianapolis, where in 8 appearances, he holds a 2.51 earned run average and has racked up 41 strikeouts over 32 1/3 innings. Since both pitchers are relatively unknown at this point, the advantage falls to the better team overall, Milwaukee. The Brewers bring a stronger offense and bullpen to the table. As our first pick for this matchup, the Milwaukee Brewers money line is our full game side pick. It remains unclear who will start for Milwaukee, but Mike Burrows is expected to pitch for the Pirates in his season debut. With both starters being largely unknown, the game is expected to have plenty of offense. Even though the Pirates have struggled on offense, the total set reflects a higher scoring affair. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.